back to Dubbzi Bricks for another Gotham City update. We've had the base plates arrive, which is going to enable us to Mills plate this entire area here. So that's what we're going to be starting off doing in this update. Once I've done that, I'm going to try and work out how I get the roads connected from over there to here. So we'll be mapping the roads out, and that's going to be quite an interesting job to do, as we want to maximise all of the space we've got up here, but also want to make it interesting going across to the next raised platform. So without further ado, let's get those base plates out, let's get the bricks and plates out, and let's get started. And we've covered up the multicolour brick with a multicolour Mills plate, and it's so nice seeing it all covered over here. Really start to visualise things a lot better now. And it's going to be quite interesting doing a bridge going across the two sections there. I still have to make a Mills plate to go down the very end on top of the back cave. But again, I need to make sure I've got that all finished so I know where the entrances and exits are on there for the ramp. But what we're going to do now is just amend this Mills plate just here, because we need to have it so there is a gap for the stairs and the lift to go down to the subway station. And that's the Mills plate all amended. So we have a hole there for the stairs and a lift to go down to the subway from the raised platform area. Now I've brought this train just up to the top here because I want to have a look at the size of how high it's going to be, because I want to have the bridge coming into Gotham across here. Now the road needs to join up to this road here. And at the moment, if I have that train where it is at the moment at that height, our road is going to be really steep like so. Actually, it's going to be more like that, which is way too steep. So one thing is, if I can shrink the height of the train, I can actually narrow down the angle a little bit on the actual road that comes into the raised platform area just here. So that's one thing that I need to have a little bit of a think about. So I might start experimenting with a new train design for the raised platform area, or for the raised train line, sorry, because that way I can then start planning more about the roads and the layout. Now we have a Flatiron-esque. I just brought this up here. Somebody said to me in the last update in the comments about it would be better to have a road one side, as you see with the real Flatiron building. And what I'm considering at the moment is the road comes along here, and I'm going to have it coming across this angle, so we go in parallel with the Flatiron-esque building, and then it will join up to the road, which is just over the other side of this raised platform area here. The train line I was going to have coming the opposite side of it. So you have a train one side and the road the other. So that's just what I'm thinking at the moment. I think that might look quite good. And I quite like the idea of having the Flatiron-esque building up the top here, because this is where I'm going to have the majority of the skyscrapers and tall buildings in Gotham City. And then that will clear up the space just down here at the bottom, which would be quite good, because then I could potentially put a hospital in here. So that's one of the reasons I've thought about bringing it up here. Originally I was happy with it down there, but now I'm thinking it might be better to do that. So yeah, lots of things I need to decide upon. But first of all, let's go and have a little bit of a play with the train and see what sort of design we can come up with, and see if we can just get it a little bit lower. And here is our revised train, which is 2 plates lower than it was previously. Not a massive amount, but it does all add up. And this is the angle of the road that we've got at the moment. And quite happy with that. It's not as steep as the road that leads up to the raised platform down the far end of the city. Now I just need to work out where exactly I'm going to be putting the bridge in and out of Gotham City. At the moment, if I was to put the road here, it would be going over the area down there where the Flatiron-esque building used to be. And I'm thinking it'd be quite good to have the bridge over this way a little bit, and almost over the road, which is in front of the Iceberg Lounge, or what's going to be the Iceberg Lounge. The only problem I've got though with that is the road would come down here to where the entrance to the subway station is, but that's not too much of a big deal, because at the moment I could swap the Mills plate over. So I could bring the Mills plate this side and just build a hole in that side. So that could work out quite nicely. So all I need to do now is just decide whether or not that's what I definitely want to do. I can then make the amendments if necessary, and then we can start building the support structure, which is going to lead up to the bridge. And I've mapped out the entrance to the road, which is going to be leading up to the bridge and out of Gotham City. And I'm going to have 2 tunnels here. One of them just here is going to be for pedestrians, and then you've got one which the train comes through just behind it. Now I did experiment quite a bit with where to put this road. I did move the entrance to the subway over here by about 16 studs. However, it didn't look right, so I've moved it back over this way. And I'm just going to have to rearrange that section down there, which is a very quick and simple job. Now with the tunnel here that the train's coming through, as you can see, we've got one arch here. The other arch would be falling off down the bottom there. So I'm going to extend the raised platform area just there and put it on some pillars. There are going to be buildings all the way along the bottom there, so it's not going to look like pillars. It will look like it's all integrated into the structure. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, we'll start building this up, and then once we've done so, we'll create the road and see how that looks. And here we have the first attempt at the side of the wall, which is going to be the support leading up to the bridge. And I've done it so there's a train tunnel coming through here, and I'm not sure that I actually like it. And I'm just wondering if I even need to have it as a tunnel. Just wonder whether it'd be better to have support pillars the other side with arches. You can see it coming through. I think that might look a little bit better, and also do away with these slopes just here. So that's just something I'm going to have a little bit of an experiment with, and also whether or not to get rid of the dark bluish grey. Again, I'm not sure I actually like that on there. I might go over to dark tan just to have something different with the brick style around here. I put a couple of dark tan plates in here, and that's just purely to give it a more weathered effect. But I think it might also look better having the slopes in that colour. Anyway, let's carry on experiment and see what we can come up with. I'm getting happier with the design of this. This obviously won't be as blocky. It's going to have a nice smooth sloped finish to it. All of these snot bricks, they're going to have tiles on there which will be of a different colour, possibly dark tan or dark grey. The one thing I am thinking though is this slope leading up to the bridge is a little bit too steep for my liking. And there's a couple of ways I could get away from it. I could raise the platform up at the back here where the road is. However, I don't particularly want to do that. The other option is push the railway track that way. Obviously, there's nowhere to support it at the moment, so I'd have to do a support structure for the whole railway line along the front there. But it's not the end of the world. There's going to be buildings under it anyway, and it could look quite cool. So I just need to decide upon that. And then once I've done so, then I know how I'm going to go about finishing this section off just here. So there's raised train supports all in place. That's enabled me to bring the track this way by about 8 studs so far. I can bring it over even further if I wish to do so. Now rest assured, this is not the finished look. There's going to be a lot more strength put into it, a lot more detail. It's just propped there at the moment, just so I can work out exactly how steep I need to make the ramp onto the bridge. But it's looking already so much better doing it like this. So let's go back around to the other side of the table and carry on amending the ramp. And there we have the revised ramp that leads up to the bridge, or will lead up to the bridge, should I say. And much happier with the angle of the slope there. It's a lot better than it was previously. And that's the snot road all built across to connect the one platform area to the other. So I just need to design the bridge that is going to support this road. And when we come down here, we've got it at this angle here, and this is proving to be so tricky, trying to get these lines to connect up and even to get the gaps as small as possible between these two sections just here. This one won't be too hard to fill in, apart from the white line, getting that to connect up. And I am thinking that if I had the pieces, it'd be so good to use the technique that Brickcraft uses where he bends the roads. However, they're so part intensive, it'd be so expensive to do that, and it's not something I can really afford to do at the moment. But yeah, I might just do the best I can with this for the time being, and then if the opportunity arises further down the line, I will swap it out and do the same technique as him. So what I will do is I'll still plate the sidewalks off, because I can make it so they go over the top of the road, so that won't be a problem. And then I can just get all of those plates to make that road bend underneath it. So yeah, that's what the plan is at the moment. With this section here, still trying to work out what to do on the tiles here. I have experimented on the other side here with some dark brown ones, and I think that looks quite good. But yeah, still got to decide what I'm going to put on the very top. See, this has been widened once again. This, when I first started doing it, I think I did it at about 24 studs, I think it was, or 28 studs. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And I put the 2 sets of roads in. I need a central reservation in there. And yeah, so it's just got wider and wider. But I think it's going to look really good once we've got the bridge going across the city. With the road markings, these are not final. These are just what I've put on for the time being. And I am getting so low on the yellow plates and the white plates. The majority of that yellow line there, or the 2 yellow lines in the centre, is 1 by 1 studs. and I got off the pick brick wall a little while back. So yeah, that's how low we're getting on pieces. So yeah, really happy to get the roads all mapped out here. I think this is going to look so cool once it's all finished. Having this at the angle that's running parallel with the Flatiron-esque building there, I think is going to be really good. This building will come right over to the road, as I want to have the train station the other side of there if I can. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm just hoping that there is going to be enough room there. Anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham City in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Hey, thanks for watching by. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.